Hi and welcome back to another lesson of the TI-84 plus CE student course. In this lesson we're looking at exploring calculus and we're focusing in on integration. Some of the things we're going to look at are how to find a definite integral between an defined upper and lower bound, and also how to find the area bounded by two functions. Okay, so the example we're going to look at has a particle with a velocity function 3t squared minus 14t plus 10. If you've watched the differentiation episode of this course, then that equation is going to be looking mighty familiar. And I thought that would just be good continuity to use the same one again. In this case, though, we're wanting to integrate to look at our displacement and distance that our particle has travelled. So I'm just going to bring up my calculator, and the first thing that we're going to do is enter that equation into our function editor. So into y equals, and again we're using x in place of t, so 3x squared minus 14x plus 10. Okay, now my question asked me to find the displacement in the first 8 seconds. So to do that, I'm going to use my integration kind of preset formula, which I can find under my alpha F2 math menu. You can also find it under just the regular math menu, but this one's definitely much quicker. So number 4 is my integral. You can see it there, fn int. And here we can fill in this template. So my upper limit, I'm finding between my first 8 seconds. So my lower limit is going to be 0, my upper limit is going to be 8. Same as we did for the differentiation, I can actually, instead of typing in that equation, I can use my y1, which I find under alpha F4, and enter that equation in there. That's going to take that from y1 and paste it in. And I'm integrating with respect to x. So then I type x in at the end. Press enter, and there we go, that's my displacement. If we were going to have a look at this graphically, I'm going to I'll just set up my window. Again, my x min, I'm going to make that -1 just so I can see the y-axis, but I'm not really interested in anything below 0. I'm going to set my y max up to 9. My y min, I'm going to keep that as -10, but I'm going to set my y max all the way up to 100. And that's going to give me a really nice view of that graph there. Okay, so now I could find this using my graph screen as well. Second and trace to bring up my calc menu, and then you'll notice number 7 also is an integral. So we can type that in. My lower limit is 0, my upper limit is 8 again, and I should get the same answer as what I found on my main screen, so 144. Now the next question asked me to find the distance that this particle travelled. Distance being a little bit different to displacement, because what our particle would be doing here is it would be moving to the right. Then when it goes negative, it would be moving to the left, and then it would be moving to the right again. So that moving to the left affects our displacement and makes it slightly less than the overall distance that it would travel. So if I'm asked to find the distance, what I want to do is turn this part negative. Now what I could do is I could find my x-intercepts from here, and then I could find just what that negative area would be, and then I could add that on to my 144, but that's quite a slow process. So the way I generally tend to do it, which is a bit of a trick, is I go back into my y equals, and then I'm going to take the absolute value using my math menu, cross to number, absolute, and I'm going to put that into my y1. So if you're not familiar with absolute value, it just changes any negative y value in your function into a positive y value. So now when I graph that, we can see there that that part is now positive, and I can just find that integral again. Second, again, trace to bring up my calc menu. Number 7, my lower limit's still 0, my upper limit's still 8. Oh, hang on, sorry. Actually, that's a really good mistake to make because that happens often. So I've just found my integral again of my y1 when I really want to find it of y2. So I'm just going to do that again. Second calc, number 7. Now can you see there how I've got my blue function highlighted at the top? If I press my up button or down, doesn't matter, you can either of those navigation keys, you'll now see that the red one, the absolute value of y1, comes up. Again, my lower limit's 0, my upper limit is 8. So now we get that red area. And again, you'd expect it to be bigger because you're only looking at adding together. You're adding together all of those positive areas rather than subtracting that negative one in the middle. Okay, I think my last question was something along the lines of, would my particle be moving more to the left or to the right? Okay, well, we've moved a little bit to the right, then we've moved a bit to the left, but then we've moved a lot to the right, that big positive bit there. So overall, we'd be moving towards the right as well. You can also use that absolute value trick in your main screen. So I can just copy and paste and put that down. And I could, again, go to my math menu, number, absolute value, put my y1 in, and again, you'll get the same result there. So you can do that in the same way, just in your main screen too. You don't have to do it in a graph. All right. Okay, my last little example is to find the area of the region enclosed by the graphs y equals 2x and x root x plus 1. So I'm just going to enter those into my y1 and my y2. Okay, so there they are. And the next thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to use my zoom and my zoom standard, so just number 6, just to get that, say, in the normal negative 10 to 10 window viewing, and then I can have a look at what I'm interested in. Okay, so I'm finding the area bounded by the curve. So that means the area that's between the curves. So we can see it there. It looks like there's an intersection point at the origin, but we need to confirm that. And then we've got an area just in between those two graphs, and then we've got another intersection point up towards that right-hand corner. So I'm going to use my calc button, second calc number 5 for my intersect. Every time you're trying to find an intersect, you just have to press once on each curve, so enter once on each curve, and then you guess, and then it comes up and it'll tell you intersection. So there's definitely an intersection there at the origin at 0, 0. The next one I'll do a little bit more slowly because it'll be a bit easier to see. So again, number 5, we're going to go to intersect again. Okay, so see, I move my cursor close to where that point is. My first curve, I press enter. The second curve comes up automatically, press enter, and then you kind of guess whereabouts you think that intersection point is there. And we can see we got another one at x equals 3, y equals 6. Okay, so my intersection points are at x equals 0 and x equals 3. I can also see in here that my y2, that red straight line, is the slightly kind of what we call the upper function. So it sits slightly higher between those 2 points than the blue one does. And if you imagine that if you found the area of everything under the red line, and then you minused everything under the blue curve, that's going to give you the area that you're missing in between. That's exactly what we're going to do. So I'm going to quit out of this screen. And then from here, I'm going to go alpha, and then F2 again to bring up my integral. My upper limit is 3, my lower limit so I could go alpha, F2. Again, I want that same integral, Fn int, so number 4. My upper limit's still 3, lower limit's still 0. I again go alpha, F4 to get my y2. I'm integrating with respect to x. And then I could subtract again that, remember, so that's going to calculate the area under that upper curve, and then I could minus, same again, 3 and 0, alpha F4 from that y1, the lower one, with respect to x again, and there we go, we get the same result. Okay, so both of those work equally well. I would slightly prefer the first one just because it involves a little bit less entering in of different templates and filling things out. Alrighty, well that's it from me. I hope this has been useful, and I'll see you next time.